The big question is, well, how much more do you guys get? About 5.5 or 6 years ago, we started to track it. We had never tracked the data before. About 5.5, 6 years ago, we started tracking the data. And over the last 5.5, 6 years, you can see that on residential claims, we've averaged about 94% more than the insurance company. And on commercial claims, about 86% more. And this continues to be tracked. And how we tracked it is we looked at what the offer was from the insurance company, and ultimately we enclosed the file what it actually settled for. And so that's how we came up with these numbers. So the big question is, how do we do that? Well, we know the insurance policies. We know the latest court decision. We know how the insurance companies respond. We know what information they need and how to present it to them in a meaningful way so that they can do a good job at analyzing it. And we also know what they've done in the past, which is really important because insurance companies are big machines, and sometimes one claims rep's doing something, another claims rep's doing something else. So it's important for us to be able to demonstrate to the insurance company that what we're asking for them to do today is something similar to what they've done in the past. And that is a really important part of what we do. And there are a lot of components to property claims. One of them is oftentimes a structure claim, a house or a building. And in those, we're really talking about two different things. We're talking about the scope, what's damaged, how are we going to fix it, and then unit prices that go with the scope. And the scope can be an incredibly broad thing. You can literally trot 5 contractors through a building and you get 6 opinions as to what it'll cost to fix it. Because you've got varying degrees of damage. Usually it's not everything's on the ground and you're rebuilding from the ground up. You may have, this area of the room might be completely gone and this area of the room might just have some light smoke. Well, how far do you go? How much of the building do you take down? Where do you stop and start? So these scope issues can be a major difference in opinion as to how the buildings should be put back. Many years ago, there was an earthquake in Seattle, Washington, and it racked the Starbucks World Headquarters building, which at the time they were the largest single-tenant occupied building in the country. The insurance company came out. They had earthquake insurance. They had $40 million with their earthquake insurance. The insurance company came out, and they spent 3 or 4 months evaluating. How are we going to fix this? What's the scope going to be to get this racked building back in working order? And they came back to the owners, and they said, well, you guys are right. You got a lot of damage here. We figured it out. It's going to cost about $4.6 million to fix this building. Unfortunately, they had $5 million worth of insurance, or $5 million deductible on their insurance. So they said, you do have a lot of damage, but it doesn't meet the threshold of the $5 million deductible. They got us involved. They found us. They got us involved. We looked at what the insurance company and all their experts and advisors had developed as the scope. What's damaged, how we're going to fix it. And we recognized that under the terms of the insurance policy, what they were going to get, the fix they were going to get, was not going to put them back in pre-loss condition. And we knew there was a lot of problems with their plan. So we redid everything, got them back to the table. It took a long time because they had fallen in love with all the work that they had done. But eventually we brought them around and we settled that claim for $39 million after the deductible. So $1 million short of the policy limit. It wasn't that we got anything they weren't entitled to. It was just that they were looking at it with a different lens.